Over the past few years, Sonic movies have been nothing but a fun experience for all ages. To achieve such ranks as the sequel becoming #1 movie of the year in 2022, and the fact that the movie in a way saved Sonic from falling into irrelevancy, Sonic Movie 3 recently released in America, and very soon for everyone internationally. I was lucky to watch the movie last Saturday with family and friends, as well as attend the Sonic Symphony, featuring special musical guest T. Lopes.
This project, I want to thank Sonic Symphony, Shotgun, so much for the invitation. Enjoy the show, have a blast. Thank you so much for coming.
We love you, Demons! We love you!
Anyway, today, I thought I might as well share my thoughts of what I thought about the movie without giving any spoilers. So yes, this video will remain spoiler free, but I will do my best to give a respectable and fair opinion of what I think about the movie. Now, with no time to waste, Christmas on the horizon, so happy holidays to all, let's get this party started. Now, before I start talking about the movie, I absolutely have to talk about the overall marketing for this movie. Like, not only from day one when we received the treatment trailer, which had a very nice live and learn riff in it, but after that, just the trailers in general, they just kept getting better and better, even though we only got 2, but each one was better than the last. Not to mention, we had the New York billboards that were busy showcasing Sonic and Shadow, a lot of Adventure 2 representation. You got the movie towers that were to promote trailer 2, not to mention the Sega Genesis special gift for, you know, those special people that got the little Sonic Movie Genesis game, which had the secret code to when trailer 2 was going to release. Multiple outlets and companies just going out to promote the movie. If you go outside or go to like any famous place or just like, you know, a mall or something like that, you will see this movie plastered somewhere. I'm telling you, they literally had this movie all over the place, and I can see why, because they knew what they were making and they went after it. However, I'm not gonna forgive AMC, McDonald's, and Jack's Pacific because they kind of had some spoilers in their marketing. I'm not gonna say what it is, but be careful if you're going to watch the movie at AMC. If you're going to buy McDonald's, make sure you watch the movie first, then go there, unless you're not getting a Happy Meal. And I have no words for Jack's Pacific. Shame on you. Moving on from that, I do want to also talk about the overall rating of the movie, which is the PG rating, of course. And of course, people thought that because it was a PG rating, oh, we weren't gonna have Shadow having a gun, or oh, we're not gonna see Maria getting shot, which I will admit, she doesn't get shot, but we already knew this. We knew there was gonna be some type of explosion. But the way they did it, I understand it, and I will say that it was a pretty good execution. I mean, I wish he got shot, but that's a story for another time. They did pull like a Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse though when it came to pushing the PG rating. Such things as having a little bit more bruises and showing a bit of blood on the characters. They were using some quote-unquote light swear words such as the A word, and
damn,
sadly it wasn't Shadow who said it, but you know, at least we got that word in some capacity. The overall vibe of this movie just felt a whole lot darker than the first and the second movie combined, and you could really see it, especially because this is being inspired by Sonic Adventure 2, one of the most darkest Sonic storylines out there, mainly Shadow's storyline. So of course they had to go this mile, and they did a really good job. Like I said, I won't go too much into the plot, like I said, because I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but I can talk about things that we've seen in the trailer and just like, you know, elaborate on them just a little bit. You know, that little Chow Garden we got at the beginning of trailer 2. Yeah, I mean, it's not the Chow Garden that we wanted, but at the same time, hey, a Chow Garden is a Chow Garden, right? And I will say that the Detective Pikachu bit in the trailer is kind of funny, and it was in the movie as well. I laughed a bit. Speaking of the trailer, or I guess the marketing in a way, there was this one clip that they released to the public of like Team Sonic and stuff racing. Yes, this was actually posted by Paramount, so this is not a spoiler. And yeah, if you watched that, or if you saw this in theaters, I could definitely understand why they wanted to remaster Sonic Generations, because they literally just rehashed the Sonic Generations cutscene, but they put it in the movie, and it's actually really funny. Not funny, but it's kind of like you could admire the fact to why they chose that specific scene for when that context happens, which also explains why there are Chow in the Sonic Generations opening cutscene as well. If I had to go on a little bit about the overall pacing of the movie, I mean, it was okay. I mean, like, definitely pacing was almost perfect, but at the same time, I felt like there were some things that could have just been cut out and switched out for something else. I'm referring to the end game of the movie in a way, kind of. But yeah, overall pacing was really good. I will say there was not a lot of human filler like it was in Sonic 2 with the whole wedding scene, because I know I know some people that are, well, they weren't too happy with that scene, I'll tell you that much. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of human filler. There wasn't a lot of humans in general besides Gun, but of course they're related to the story. They're related to the SA2 story, so it makes sense why they would be there and stuff like that. Maria and Shadow backstory, they did a really good job with that. I really loved how they did it, and I love how they put it into bits and pieces, and instead of just putting it all into one, which really, I guess, helps it sink in a bit. So it's not just like a whole anime backstory type of situation, which I'm 100% okay with, by the way. I wasn't just saying that to, you know, throw any flack. I will say though, the Chow Garden scene, for what it is, it's okay. I didn't elaborate too much into it, but I will say it's a little bit cheap what they did in that scene. But again, I'm not gonna go into specifics. Let's just say something happens, and when you see it, you're just gonna be like, huh? But then again, it also, like, it shows off what happens in the hero story of Sonic Adventure 2 if you've played that after City Escape. That's essentially what happens in the Chow Garden scene. The action was definitely up there. All the characters, they were doing really well, especially the Sonic and Shadow fights, the Team Sonic versus Shadow. That was really enjoyable. I really loved that. And yeah, I will say though, as the movie progresses, the fight that did occur did get a lot more serious, and it led into territory I can't really say out loud because then I'll be spoiling the movie. But yeah, I think overall the fights were really good. They were really choreographed really well. I think the animation was, as always, really good. I know there was like some controversy like a few months ago where people were complaining about like Sonic's skin tone and why he looks a lot more pink. Listen, just watch the movie. You're not gonna notice it as much, so please just stop telling people that Sonic has to look a certain way. If I didn't say this already, I think they just found a really decent balance between the human scenes and focusing on Sonic and the rest of the main cast. Because overall in this movie, we focus a lot more on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Eggman, Gerald, a lot more than the human characters. Like, they essentially have, like, they have involvement, of course, but it's not as involved as how we see Sonic, Tails, Silver. You get the point. Why did I say Silver? I meant Shadow. Now, if you are a fan, and I mean if you are a fan of the Knuckles TV show, I'm gonna say right now, you're going to be disappointed in this movie because there's a lack of appearances of one particular character. And yes, I know it's so sad, but at the same time, what can you do? I expect to see Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Eggman. I expect to see the game characters. I don't expect to see the human characters as much. So too bad, so sad. Scale issue, Cope, Seed. Also, I forgot to add this in my initial recording. Keanu Reeves, he does a pretty good Shadow. And yes, Shadow does have a gun, and yes, he is a badass motherfucker. Keanu Reeves gives a decent impression of Shadow, but even after hearing his performance in the Shadow Generations DLC,
suspicious. I should follow.
It needs some serious work. He sounds so lifeless at times.
Chaos control described the Earth.
But in the movie, he sounded okay. That's all I'm gonna say. He sounded okay. Okay, now the final battle, I'm not gonna talk too much on it, but let's just say, yes, it was peak. Yes, they did play Live and Learn, but this also is about to go into this next segment I'm about to talk about, and it basically just explains one of my main problems of this movie. And like I said, I'm not gonna go into the specifics, but it's a main problem that really irked me for quite a bit. As we know, Jim Carrey came to reprise his role as Dr. Eggman, even though he was on I guess you could say break, retired from acting. But according to him, the Sonicmovies 3 script was created in golden ink or whatever, so he was like, I'm in, let's do this. And yeah, you're definitely gonna see a lot of Carrey in this movie, especially because, you know, there's 2 of him, you know, double the villains, double the fun, right? Yeah, I did not expect it to play Joe, but it was a nice surprise nonetheless. What did I just say? Okay, whatever. Yeah, he was there, and he's also kind of a bit of a problem because there were so many like double scenes with him and Gerald, or like with Eggman and Gerald, and it's just like, I understand that they wanted to do like a little grandfather son bonding time, but there's just a little too much of it, if you catch my drift. And honestly, there was just some parts that low-key just ticked me off a bit, and especially in the end game, like the final battle, there is this one transition that low-key made me cringe so flippin' hard. It's actually like right after the Live and Learn segment. So yeah, So if you haven't seen this movie, when you hear Live and Learn, just know the transition is gonna be really, really, really weird. And again, I'm not gonna go into specifics, but yeah, I'm sorry, I keep saying I'm not gonna go into specifics. It's really hard making a spoiler-free trailer. I mean, spoiler-free review, because you know you can't really spoil everything. You can't really say everything, but you're able to give like your general thoughts, and that's what I'm giving right now. And my general thoughts is this is a fun movie. Will I say it's better than movie 2? I mean, it's up there. It's definitely up there. I would recommend you to watch this with your family, friends, if you have to by yourself. Rewatch it again the second time, stuff like that. It's really good. Like, essentially, if you're a Sonic fan, this is essentially your Sonic Adventure 2, the movie. Now, is it exactly 1-to-1 from Adventure 2? No, far from it. Okay, not far from it, but like, there's a lot of similarities. They even take some quotes from Sonic Adventure 2 and put it into this movie, as well as actually using video game music from Sonic. Like, they had Eggman's theme song from Adventure 2. They had the jingle from Adventure 2. Like, they had so many things. And apparently they had Escape from the City. My brother called that out, but I did not hear that. So if you hear that, you know, good on you, stuff like that. I gave this initially a 10 out of 10, but after listening to myself talk and seeing that I have some problems with the movie, I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Listen, if you got rid of some of those little extra fluff, then yeah, this would be a great movie. And of course, the post-credit scenes also, I have to put that into account. So that's probably why I'm keeping it at a 9.5 and not dropping it to a 9. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Anyway, thank you for listening to my little ramble about Sonic Movie 3. Make sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps me and the algorithm get along. Also, comment down below, what is your favorite moment of Sonic Movie 3, or what would you like to be your favorite moment of Sonic 3 when it comes out? And I will catch you all in the next video. Stay safe and take care.